Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Welcome back to another edition of the Dynasty Dugout Show. It's Monday. I'm back again. I did my live looks breakdown this morning, and now we're back to talk about the weekend standouts. There were a lot of big prospects to talk about. I'm going to try to condense it and talk about everything you need to know from the minor league weekend. Stats, underlying data, standout pitchers, standout hitters. There's so much more than just the stat line. You can easily look and find the stat line. You can go on Fangraphs leaderboard. It tells you a lot, but I went back and watched a lot of these games despite being at games myself. And what did I see and what matters? So let's talk about it. Let's break them down. I'll quickly hit with our sponsors, Connect Roasters, Ian App's Coffee Company. Go get you some. Buy one, get one 50% off at connectroasters.com. Their gold glove blend is buy one, get one 50% off if you use the code Dynasty Dugout. And Chinook Seedery, the best sunflower seeds in the game. Go to Chinook Seedery today. Get 10% off your order using the code Dynasty Dugout. All right. I want to talk about all the notables from the weekend. I went back and watched a lot of these starts for pitchers, watched a lot of the hitters. So here's what you need to know. Out of the gate, Manuel Rodriguez, absolutely dominant. He had a stellar performance. Through 4 1/3 scoreless innings, he struck out 11 batters and had 23 whiffs. Like, that's nuts. It was just an insane performance. I went back and watched this entire start because I was at a game myself and I was like, okay, like, what did Rodriguez do? Like, did he suddenly add velocity? Like, is there something new here? I mean, this is, for one, like a Brewers pitcher. Every year the Brewers have a pitcher pop off. So that's pretty notable that it seems like every year somebody takes a jump. And maybe that's going to be the case with Rodriguez. So here's the concern with Manuel Rodriguez is that he just doesn't have good fastball velocity. He is, however, one of the youngest pitchers in high A. So when you're 19 and a half, you're in high A, it kind of stands out. I mean, we know the Brewers push guys aggressively. Last year, he was 18 in single A, and he had a 3.23 ERA, a sub-1 whip. It was just a 20% K rate, but the command was stellar. Control was great, walked 2.7% of batters. So obviously, like, that stands out like as elite. And Rodriguez, starting the year this good, like, if you listen to the show last week when I talked about the notable prospect assignments, I focused on Manuel Rodriguez because he's young. He's one of the youngest pitchers in high A. The Brewers tend to know what they're doing. How good this start was. He had a -1 FIP. Negative. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen that. And again, it's one start, but no earned runs allowed. He struck out 69% of hitters, walked 6%. We're talking a small sample, but 23 whiffs. Absolutely nuts. Like, I just can't even begin to like fathom like how good this start was. So I was like, I got to watch it. So I went back and watched it, and the fastball hadn't really jumped. Like, it was cold. I'll say that. Like, it was a very cold start. So, like, that was obviously notable that he's throwing in the freezing cold. But to get those performances, like, obviously matters. But the velocity was like 90, 91. It was 88 towards the end of the start. Slider was really sharp. Like, he was throwing like a slider in the mid-80s and a sweeper curve like in the low 80s, upper 70s. Changeup was like 84-ish. It was good. There was a lot of good to take away from Manuel Rodriguez. So he's somebody that I'm very interested in. Like, given the young age, he's not a big frame by any means. He's listed 6'2", 175. I'd argue he's a little bit shorter, but the stuff's there. If the fastball ticks up any, then Manuel Rodriguez is going to take off. And I still think that's definitely a possibility here that we see the jump happen. I mean, I really believe in the profile. Again, I don't think it's going to cost you much to acquire him in a dynasty league, but I'd take the chance and see where it goes. Another kind of like unheralded prospect is Sean Linan of the Dodgers. Linan was an international free agent out of Colombia, signed in January 2022. It's been an interesting path. Last year, he was in the complex, then jumped to single A. The results were a mixed bag. He had a 4.37 ERA in 70 innings, a 1.33 whip. He did, however, have a 31% K rate, and Linan walked 8% of batters. There's some stuff here that's intriguing. I like Sean Linan, and he came out and dominated. His first start was quite notable. It was 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 11 strikeouts. So really good debut game as well. So we've got off the bat, we've got 2 guys with 11 strikeout games to start the minor league season. That obviously will catch your eye. Linan pitched on Sunday, so yesterday as we're recording this. And yeah, I mean, he's in single A again. He just turned 20. There's stuff there where it's like, yeah, I can really potentially see this working. And the Dodgers pitch dev's really, really good. So when you factor those things in, Sean Linan's a deep league target for sure. Like, he's someone that you look at and think, yeah, I really think there's some intrigue here. The organization likes him a lot. We've seen the upside and potential. We've shown flashes of it at times. And then to see him come out and do what he did, generating 19 whiffs on 38 swings. He threw just 61 pitches. He followed Jacob Wright in the game, but still, like, that kind of dominance is worth noting. 50% whiff rate, 43% CSW, lots of strikes. I mean, that's pretty notable. I mean, he threw 44 of his 61 pitches for strikes, so really high strike rate there. He got chase out of the zone. I mean, he had a 62% chase rate. Like, there's some things to like here in Sean Linan, so keep an eye on this profile. I think he does have some intrigue. Again, the Dodgers are deep. The Dodgers develop pitchers, so maybe this is the next one. Now for a well-known name, Hagen Smith. Hagen Smith of the White Sox, drafted last year, first-round pick, 5th overall out of Arkansas. Smith's arsenal is just utterly dominant, and he showed it. It was an interesting start. It was a Hagen Smith-esque start. He threw 4 innings. He did not allow a hit. He walked 4 batters, allowed a run, but he struck out 10. So that stood out in a big way. 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, no hits, just a typical Hagen Smith start. And I set on Hagen Smith last year. I set on him in college at Arkansas. I set on him in his pro debut with Winston-Salem the first week of September. And it's an interesting profile. Like, there's no denying that the stuff is ridiculously good. He's shown it time and time again that he can pitch. Fastball's legit. You've got good velocity on it, mid-90s, good traits. Like, it's not like a high IVB pitch that like people want nowadays, but it's got good horizontal movement. It's got enough IVB to work. And he's a lefty is sitting in the mid-90s, like touching upper 90s. Like, that's pretty notable. Smith's slider's really good. Like, you look at Hagen Smith, when he throws that slider from the left side, like, there's some nasty movement on it. And if you're watching the video, like, this is my film from last year. This isn't the start that he made this week, but still you can see it. He'll throw a nasty split change at times. He's got a cutter in there. Hagen Smith might move through the minors pretty quick. Like, it wouldn't shock me because, like, how much better is this guy going to get? Like, how much do the White Sox really believe that they'll clean up his command? And, like, he's too good. The stuff is too good for Hagen Smith to sit in Double-A, in my opinion at least. So it's possible they push him. And we see him in the majors at some point this year. Maybe it's he starts in the minors and he's a starter, and eventually they move him to the bullpen towards the end of the year just to get major league reps. I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, this is a top 50 prospect for me. I'm still, after watching Chase Burns, I'm still Chase Burns over Hagen Smith. Burns is awesome. I think he's just got better pitch traits in general. And I do like I do like Hagen Smith, though. So I think that's worth noting that, like, I still really believe in this profile. He's still 21 years old. He'll be 21 nearly all season. So pretty young, too, for a college draftee last year. He's got the frame. He's got the stuff. That rotation in Birmingham is nuts with him, Noah Schultz, and Grant Taylor. And there's some other guys that got some good pitchability. I like Riley Gallons a lot, too, and nobody talks about him. So pretty good rotation there. Lucas Braun of the Braves was dominant. Lucas Braun is been under the radar for a while. The Braves always have these pitchers that tend to be under the radar, and then they pop off, and you're like, where did they come from? Every year there's one of them. I mean, Strider did it. Schwellenbach did it. Like, you can go down the list. Like, Drew Hackenberg technically did it last year. It's like, I don't know, man. I think Lucas Braun might be the guy this year. I thought Hackenberg was going to take that leap, but I'm kind of in on the Lucas Braun train now, just given what he showed us. I mean, he had a really dominant start in his first start this year. He threw 6 innings. He did allow 3 earned, but he struck out 9 and walked just 1. Home runs were an issue. I understand. Like, that was not something you want to see. You don't want to see somebody allow 2 home runs in 6 innings, but the 9 strikeouts certainly stand out. He generated 14 whiffs. There was a lot of dominance in the start. And I think what's most notable is that the velocity is ticked up. Like, with Lucas Braun, like, we've seen the velocity take a step forward. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, there's definitely something here with Braun. I think he's being a bit underrated. Like, you watch the video, I mean, this is just really good stuff across the board. And again, he left a couple balls hanging, slider hanging that was crushed, that was hit out of the park. But, he was sitting mid 90s. Like, he'll primarily work in the lower 90s, but I think seeing him tick up to where he did is notable because the slider is good. The command's really good with Lucas Braun as well. So, like, this might be a guy. Like, the Braves just might have something here with Lucas Braun and might want to get on the ship now. Like, he might pitch in the majors this year. So that's kind of where I'm at on Lucas Braun. Nolan McLean. What you need to know about Nolan McLean is this was a two-way player out of Oklahoma State, like a legit two-way guy. And he was a two-way guy last year in the majors as well, in the minors as well. He was drafted 3rd round in 2023, got a big bonus, and he hit for some power. The contact skills were horrific. So the Mets pulled the plug. They said, all right, he's not going to hit anymore. We're going to solely focus on pitching. And the results came. You saw the results yesterday in Sunday's start. I mean, I think McLean has the best slider in the minors. That's just my opinion. He generated 15 whiffs on the start. He allowed just 3 hits. The biggest thing was he did not issue a walk, guys. He didn't walk a batter. And command had been shaky. Control and strike zone were issues at times last year. But we're also talking about a guy that was also hitting. I mean, with McLean, you've got a really good fastball, like, out of the gate. Like, that kind of sets up everything. Like, I really like the fastball and what he brings to the table. And then you throw on this slider that might be an 80-grade pitch. Like, this slider is absolutely nuts. He's got a cutter, too. I just look at McLean, and I put him in my top 100 before the season started. I think he checked in at 100 because I just had this conviction after watching him in the spring. I was like, I don't know. I think this breakout's here. It's a mid-90s fastball with heavy arm side run. He throws from a low release height. He gets this rising effect in the top of the zone, like it's a flat vertical approach angle. It's 10-plus horizontal inches every pitch. That slider in the mid-80s, heavy sweep, 3,200 RPM, which is insane. He'll throw a cutter and curve. He's worked on a changeup. I think that you're going to see him take a step forward. The strike rate already improved last year, which I think was notable. A breakout just feels really imminent with Nolan McLean. So if you can get on this ship now, I would do so. McLean was really, really good. So I am very excited about the outlook on Nolan McLean. I want to talk about Dasan Hill because that one was one too. We were trying to put the word on about like all preseason. When I first got some of his data in February, like when he had first arrived at Twins camp, he had ticked up. Like he was like 92 in high school. And he's like, oh crap, like this guy's a lefty that's 6'5", projectable, and he's already ticked up to like the upper 90s. Like he was touching 98 to 99. All right, here we go with Dasan Hill, baby. 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts. He did allow a home run. It was the only damage of the start, the only hit allowed. I mean, that's obviously pretty notable. that he pitched that well. And you can see the highlights here. Like, this stuff was dirty. I mean, the arsenal, I think, is going to be really, really good with Dasan Hill. He mixed his pitches exceptionally well. He led with the slider. He threw 4 pitches at least 20% of the time. He threw a sinker, 4-seam, change, and slider, all 20%. The slider was 30% usage. He had a 78% whiff rate. 7 whiffs on 9 swings for Dasan Hill. That's obviously pretty notable. It set 83-ish, but worked 79, 80 to 85. So that was something to watch. High spin, good traits on it. The sinker he threw, a little less IVB. I mean, there's not much IVB separation here between the 4-seam and the sinker, which is interesting. And I'm kind of curious which way did the Twins go? I think the Twins' pitch depth's really good. So I'll be curious, where do they take this one? And what do they do with it? Because I genuinely believe in Dasan Hill's ability to take steps forward as a starting pitcher. But they're going to have to figure out this fastball situation. I think you look at it and you say, all right, the foundation is we've got a lefty here. We've got a lefty that's 19 years old, and he's throwing in the upper 90s. That's obviously a huge deal. So you've got something to work on. He averaged 96 on the sinker. He touched 97.6. The 4-seam was 95.6. It touched 96.7. But the release height is 6 foot. And so, the IVB on the pitch is 15 and a half inches, and the sinker is 14 inches. So that's what I said. I want to see them differentiate the two pitches here. Changeup has good traits. I really liked what I saw, 15 inches of horizontal fade. So that's obviously pretty notable when you get that fade. And he's got some carry to it as well. It's an interesting changeup in the mid-80s. Curveball, like I say, he didn't throw much, but it has depth and sweep, negative 12 IVB, 12 inches of sweep. That's good. Slider had 10 to 11 inches of sweep with some decent depth too, negative 3 inches of IVB. So good depth for the sweeper that sits 83. Dasan Hill's a big ball of clay right now. This is an arm that you just want to be yes, there is something here with this. This is somebody that looks like he can be a top arm at some point. So, yeah, those are some breakdowns. Jack Hostetler, he's someone that I'll just hit on real quick. I mean, he's someone that had got some buzz preseason from the Brewers and they develop so well. He's in single A. I'll see him in a couple of weeks. So I'm hoping to catch him and Bryce Message. They're both good, but it was a really good start for Hostetler. He went 5 innings. He allowed just 6 hits, 1 earned, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. There's good bat missing there. Fastball's in the mid-90s, which it looks really good. So, yeah, definitely interested in Jack Hostetler in deeper leagues. He's a D3 guy, and they always find these guys. The Brewers scouting is second to none. So, tremendous work by the Brewers there. Let's hit a break, and then we'll get to some pitchers. All right, we're back. Hitters are a little bit different to dive into. With pitchers, you can get a better idea with them, just based on the fact that we've got pitch data. You can see changes much more imminent. And one start can be yeah, this guy all of a sudden has a new pitch, or he's got an increased velo, whatever it is. But hitters are a different beast because what is the change that we want to see with the hitter? Most stats haven't stabilized yet, obviously. But Christian Campbell, we knew he added bat speed last year. Yes, that's great, but we don't have public minor league bat speed data. So you got to know someone. You've got to ask around and source it. But we can talk about the notable performances from the weekend and things that I think about them. Starting with last year's number 1 pick, Travis Bazzana. Phenomenal weekend for him. He's in Double-A, 15 plate appearances. He had 7 hits, 2 walks. He homered. He stole 2 bases. He had a double. Bazzana just did everything that you want to see. He's lifting the ball with authority. He's getting to the pull side. Bazzana was underrated for a first overall pick. It's funny. They first overall pick hype, and then all of a sudden people were oh, the pro debut was bad. He had 122 plate appearance pro debut in high A, and it was bad. This guy had a long season in college ball. And then he's shipping to pro ball and he's riding buses everywhere. Like, it's a tough transition. And it's a long season, let's be honest. So he started a 765 OPS in his pro debut. But a lot of people are like, no way, this is not the top player in the draft. Like, you shouldn't consider him 1-1 in FYPD. I think they were wrong. I think he's a clear-cut 1, always has been. Like, insert that meme there. Like, he always has been the guy. It's a plus field to hit. It's plus plate discipline. I think it's above average, potentially plus power. And he's a plus runner at second base. Tell me where you can find that profile. It's hard to find a second baseman with those traits that Travis Bazzana has. So really, really good debut for him over those 3 games. Kyle Karros of the Rockies. Karros is fascinating. Karros is one of the best defensive third basemen in the minors. So you get that out of the way right now. Like, Karros is a great glove. And so that obviously matters. The contact skills with Kyle Karros are really, really good. And this weekend, man, a lot of it was Friday. I mean, I'll give you that. Like, his Friday night game was phenomenal, and he didn't collect a hit on the Saturday or Sunday games. But here's why I want to talk about him, because we still saw Kyle Karros reach base multiple times. He reached base twice on Saturday and Sunday. So still reached base 4 times on Saturday and Sunday, despite not recording a hit. But on Friday night, he opens the game with a homer, and he opened the game, and Hartford's one of the most beautiful stadiums. Like, he opens the game with an opposite field, upper deck home run. Like, okay, I'm friends with their video coordinator. He said it was kind of a cheapie, but opposite field, upper deck shot. We got to give Karros credit there. And then he walks him off in extra innings with a homer. Karros has kind of everything you want to see. He's 6'5", 220. He plays great defense on the hot corner. Last year, he hit 15 homers. He stole 12 bases. He slashed 311, 390, 485. So 875 OPS. Yes, it was in high A. It was in the Northwest League. That can be a tough place to hit at times, but other times, like, there's parks that are very hitter-friendly as well. Hartford's a good testing point for him. I think that if he's even added a mile an hour of bat speed, Karros is going to be a top 100 prospect. Like, because he's a plus defensive third baseman. And I think he's a above average hitter with plus plate discipline, like, legit. And so any sense of power, like, if he's an average game power, then Karros is going to be very fascinating. He's 22 years old. He's out of UCLA. So I'm very enticed by what Kyle Karros did this weekend. Put the star right by his name. Major watch list for Kyle Karros. Rafael Flores, he did what Rafael Flores just does. I think at this point, if you're not in on Flores, you need to get in. Flores has a rare combo of good contact with really good power. The frame's impressive. Like, I saw him in spring breakout. It's the first time I've seen him live. Yeah, it's a really good frame. I think the hit tool is better than advertised. There's plus power in the profile. Like, Rafael Flores is a dude. Hit 2 homers over the weekend, so that obviously stood out. He had 3 singles as well. He even stole a base. I don't think he's going to do much stealing, but he did steal 8 last year, so maybe you get a few out of him. This is a big body. He doesn't run that well, but Flores, kind of a guy there. Just get on now before it is too late. Joseph Sullivan became a pretty mainstream, like, breakout appeal guy, which is fascinating because typically you don't see this. 7th round pick out of the University of South Alabama with the Houston Astros. I saw Sullivan like the week or 2 weeks after he had reached single A. And so I was kind of like, okay. At that point, I didn't know the guy. I was like, I mean, I knew the name. I was like, whatever. 7th rounder, South Alabama, whatever. And Sullivan really caught my eye with Fayetteville. And I was like, yeah. Then the articles start coming. My good buddy Jeff Ponce really hyped him. I mean, rightfully so. The underlying data was really good on Joseph Sullivan. And what does he do? He steps into high A, and yeah, he's mashing out of the gate. 2 home runs over the weekend and 14 plate appearances. Was in Greensboro. Greensboro's a very hitter-friendly environment, but Sullivan's going to play his home games in Asheville. And here's a little secret. He's going to mash in Asheville. Sullivan's going to look like that he's a plus power bat in Asheville. I just think that's what it is. I would, even if you don't buy it, like, add him, because you could probably trade Sullivan, give him 2 months in Asheville, and I bet the surface stats look really, really good. So I'd add him on that merit. I believe in Sullivan's ability to hit. It's a smaller frame. Like, he's listed 5'11", 200. Maybe he's 5'10". I don't know. But it's a guy that can hit for some power, that can steal you some bases, that has good contact and OBP skills. I'd go ahead and take my chances here with Sullivan. Esmerlyn Valdez, he's someone that I talked about that I saw in the backfield. So if you listen to my backfields episodes, it's like, yeah, this guy is standing out in a big way. Big body, good frame. He had 22 home runs in the Florida State League last year as a 20-year-old. If you don't know anything about the Florida State League, that's big power. The ball doesn't travel there. So 22 home runs and 435 plate appearances, absolutely plays. Like, that's big boy power. He's got a big boy frame. He just turned 21, by the way. He's in high A. He had a really, really good weekend. That caught my eye. He didn't strike out. Ks have always been a problem. He did not strike out once. He had a 30% K rate last year. So, yes, we're talking 3 games. I understand it. But then you look at it and you're like, okay, like, maybe, just maybe, there's something here. And I really felt like that. Like, I felt like there had been some improvements with the contact skills with Valdez, just seeing him. I saw 4 games of him on the backfields. So that was pretty notable. He has a 92% contact rate in the early going, and I'm not saying that's going to stick. I don't expect that to stick at all. But there's big boy power here in a big frame. Home run, 7 hits, 4 RBI, 2 walks on the weekend. So Esmerlyn Valdez, really, really good. 2 Braves, 2 late-round picks in Owen Carey and Eric Hartman. Both these guys are 2 of the younger preps in last year's draft and 2 of the youngest players in single A right now. What's notable also, they weren't notable in the draft. I mean, Owen Carey was a 15th round pick. Eric Hartman was a 20th round pick. Both kind of got some projection on them. They're like listed 6 foot, but maybe a little more projection. But 18 years old, Londonderry High School for Owen Carey. He got a slot deal. Like, they gave him slot value in the 15th round. I think it looks pretty good. Carey had a good weekend. Well, he didn't take a walk or homer. He had 3 doubles and a single and 14 trips to the plate. So I saw Carey, and he came in the game late during spring breakout and did some good things, I thought. And Eric Hartman really showed out. He had an extra innings walk-off home run last night. He has 2 home runs on the weekend so far. He's 18 years old, 9 months. He's 6'1", 185, 20th round pick. And this is a guy the Braves overslotted. Hartman got a $337,000 bonus. Slot value in the 11th through 20 is $150K. From Canada, didn't really get a lot of buzz, but he's a pretty good player, I think. Like, he checks a lot of boxes. Good athlete, big arm. He runs well. There was some good EVs and showcase stuff that he did in high school. He blasted 2 homers. He stole a base. And again, slash lines don't really matter at this point, but he has a 1395 OPS, 50% ground ball rates. That's like, okay, let's watch this. Like, there's your question mark. Like, how much does he lift the ball? And we definitely want to see that ground ball rate go down. So we'll see if it does. But, man, Eric Hartman was awesome. Like, what a weekend for him. As a prep guy in your first taste of pro ball, like, all right, man. Like, great weekend for you, Eric Hartman. Congratulations. Let's wrap up the show with this guy. Braylon Payne might be a stud. I mean, he was a first-round pick, so, like, we should not expect it, but you get my point. Payne was not an expected first-round pick, though. When the Brewers picked him last year, people were kind of like, interesting. I understand why. Like, Payne was not like a super hype prep guy by any means. He was like a 70 to 80 runner, but there was questions about the hit tool. There was questions about the power. He's a tall, skinny guy, almost like slap hitterish. I don't know. I don't want to say that, but like, that's kind of what he was. And then he steps into pro ball last year and he pops a 110. Like, all right, we see you. Braylon Payne. He got a lot of buzz this spring, and we're like, yeah, maybe this is him. And it's funny, I don't remember who in the Discord said it, but somebody was like, yep, can't wait for the overreaction. And it'd be like something like, Braylon Payne, it's a massive home run in his first game, and everybody goes berserk and talks about him as a top 10 prospect. Well, you know what happened? Braylon Payne homered in his first game, 103 off the bat. It was a shot. Like, this kid's still skinny. He's got a high waist. There's still room for him to fill out. But Payne did Braylon Payne things all weekend. He had a hit in every game. He had 2 hits on Sunday. He stole 3 bases in Sunday's game. So he's got homer and 3 steals so far. He's looking really good. I mean, Braylon Payne, I had just outside of my top 100 to start the year. Just given, like, I want to see a little more. He's showing it. Like, he's doing everything you want to see so far, and the contact looks good. Braylon Payne's checking a lot of boxes. So I'm in on Braylon Payne. I think that you should be too. That's going to wrap us up. Thanks for tuning in with me again today. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. This is going to be an everyday thing. My commitment to you is I will make the show better every single day. We'll talk about everything you know across the minor leagues. I will talk about my live looks. Listen, I'm going to be at the park multiple times a week. So I hope that I will be able to provide you like special insight and videos you can't get anywhere else. So thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it much more than you know. But that's going to do it. I will talk to you guys soon.